Hi, everybody. My name is Marc Lalonde. Welcome to the Movement is Medicine podcast. My guest this week is going to be Projets Autochtones du Québec Managed Alcohol Program House Coordinator, Marc Alsop. Marc's going to talk to us today about how he uses exercise, physical activity, punching bags, and kettlebells in his work with his clients. My guest this week is Marc Alsop, who is the coordinator for the Projets Autochtones du Québec. He works in downtown Montreal with Indigenous clients, and he uses a fair amount of exercise and sports to relate to his clients and help get better in their mental health and in their physical health. So, Marc, welcome to the podcast. Welcome. Glad to have you today.
Oh, thank you for having me. Yes.
It's a pretty exciting day. For those out in our audience, Marc and I go back a long way, and we've been friends for a long time. So this is a pretty exciting moment for me. Marc, tell me about some of the things that you do on a daily basis with your clients at the Projets Autochtones du Québec.
Well, daily basis might be a bit of a stretch. Maybe we go more for a weekly basis or even a monthly basis.
Sure. So let's discuss what you might do on a monthly basis, say, just in a given month with your clients.
Well, I'll give you a little bit of context. So I'm the coordinator at the MAP House, which is the Managed Alcohol Program. So it's a house. We have the capacity for 8 residents. Right now we have 5. And on a daily basis, it's tending to the alcohol addictions of the residents. So there's a managed alcohol program, which all the residents will follow. And because we've taken them off the street and put them into a house setting, and we've basically taken away that purpose of always on the hunt for alcohol, always on the hunt for finding money to buy alcohol, always on the hunt to find a place to drink your alcohol or friends to drink with. So we've basically taken that purpose away from them. And now they're in this home, their alcohol needs are met, their security needs are met. And one of our main goals of the program is to help find purpose. Since we've taken this purpose, the street purpose of hunting for alcohol away from them, we need to replace it with something. And so one of the things that we try to replace it with is physical activity.
So you've mentioned to me on occasion that you've lifted with some of your clients. You're an ex-college football player. You're a fairly strong guy. You're in good shape, always have been, playing hockey. Are you able to keep up with them? How does that go when you guys lift together?
So one of our residents who is more into doing exercise than the others, I would say, actually used some of his money to buy a kettlebell. So he bought a 20-pound kettlebell. He also bought one of those like elastic exercise elastics. And so we'll lift. He'll do his exercise, and I have some knowledge in how to lift weights. So I try to say, oh well, maybe this way, I get a better range of motion going. But he seems kind of fixed in his own state of how he should be lifting. So I don't want to discourage him at all to maybe stop. So I say, okay, well, yeah, that's good. The way you're doing it is good, but and so I'll just try to demonstrate some techniques on proper lifting, and hopefully they will, or hopefully he will one day expand his knowledge into doing lifting weights in a different fashion than he is. But the fact that he's got a kettlebell in his hands he's lifting, that he's doing the exercises, he's doing some reps. For me, that's a win. And the fact that we can do it together and just kind of talk and hang out and not necessarily talk about exercises or technique, but just kind of chat and talk about life and whatnot. So yeah, that those types of activities and exercises provide other opportunities than just doing the physical exercise itself.
So let's continue in that vein a little bit. He's I'm assuming your client in question has found some sort of healthy routine and found a great habit to get into. Maybe he's loving what he's doing and exactly how he's doing it, and that's great. Tell me a little bit more. Like you already expanded on that, but tell me a little bit more about how building that bond through those activities can help them build a bond with you and, help manage some of their alcoholism.
Well, when we're doing the exercises, they're not really thinking about drinking. They might have a beer with them while we're doing the exercise, but the focus is not on the drinking. So maybe they will be sipping their beer a little slower than they would normally be doing. What I've noticed with this specific resident too is there is this need to do something, to be physically active in some respects. He's even been telling me that he's been doing push-ups. So now he's at 7 push-ups, which I'm like, hey, that's great. Like, keep it going. I kind of saw how he does push-ups and I was like, okay, maybe your technique is a little bit of improvement to do a proper push-up. But again, the fact that he's doing it and that, we're talking about it, that other residents can see. So we've also been able to acquire a bicycle for him, and so now he's biking around downtown. He loves biking everywhere, but he's often telling me that he'll be in his room and he's got to do something. He doesn't want to always be left alone with his thoughts, because often he gets into his head and then some negative behaviors might result from that. So doing this physical activity takes their mindset away from their problems and replaces it with something positive. And so in terms of helping with their addiction, I think it's more an activity for them to be focused on other than drinking. The benefits from exercise obviously will help them physically, but as you were saying, the social connection that comes from doing an activity. Like we also bought a punching bag.
Nice.
So the resident, the resident will, he'll, again, the technique or the form isn't all there, and the stamina obviously is not there. So I remember this one time when I was like, okay, I'm going to do 60 seconds of hardcore on the bag, and after about like 30 seconds, I was like, hey, man, you got to encourage me because I'm dying here. Like, I'm getting so tired. You got to encourage me. Yeah. So there he is saying like, go, Mark, you can do it. Yeah. And just, like that experience in itself, just it creates a relationship. It creates a link. It creates a bond. And, he's always asking me, hey, do you want to borrow my kettlebell? Or, hey, do you want to borrow this? And I'll always say yes, and maybe I'll just lift a few while he's there, and I'm like, okay, now it's your turn. So that's pretty much how it impacts this resident. We have another resident who has very high blood pressure, And I overheard the doctor just the other day saying, "Hey, do you do any exercise?" And he's like, "No, I don't do exercise." But, and I don't know if you know this, but a statistic for homeless people is they'll usually walk about 15, on average, about 15 kilometers a day.
I didn't know that. That's incredible.
Yeah. So,
wow.
Right. And so we've taken people off the street, and we've now taken that 15 kilometers away from them,
Right.
because now they have a stable home. But what this one resident does, who says he doesn't do exercise, he'll often go out in the morning and he'll do his, I don't know, daily. I'm not entirely sure what he does to go out during the day, but he'll go to the bank, he'll go to the pharmacy, and it's all walking. So when he does say that he doesn't do exercise, I think he's thinking of the traditional, I don't know, in a gym or
right.
you know, in a class, in a group, but he is getting still some exercise.
Well, historically, you and I have both been proponents of taking long walks, not only for exercise, but for mental health, because it feels good, and it feels good when you're done. Are there a fair number of your clients that take walks? Is it just him? How do they manage it? Do you ever go with them? How does that go?
Well, we have some of our residents have reduced mobility, so of course that's always a difficulty in trying to get them to do walking or any kind of exercise. But with the other ones, yeah, absolutely, we encourage staff. Like right now, I'm at the home alone, and I sent the staff to go walk to the park with two of the residents. So they took a walk up the hill and over to the park. Getting out as much as we can. Our staff limitations will be an obstacle, because we always have to have somebody at the home. So there's not always that possibility of going out and doing that activity.
Right.
But like in the back deck is where we have the punching bag, the kettlebell, the elastics, and yeah. I think the going out and walking has become so ingrained in some of their lives and activities that that's just something that comes natural to them. They'll wake up in the morning, they'll eat, and then they'll just go out. And you know, I don't know exactly where they go or what they do, but they come home, and you know, I'm sure they've walked a significant amount. So yeah.
That's awesome. And personally, what's your workout regimen like these days, other than getting back to hockey, I imagine, sometime soon?
Well, I have my baseball league during the summer, so it's usually one sport one season and another sport another season. And right now, actually, I'm big into doing yoga. I found a yoga stretch that helps my back pain. So that's huge for me. The fact that and actually it was a stretch that I had known and I had done, and after doing it, I was like, oh, that didn't help. Like that doesn't really do anything. But the key was to do it often. And every day. So I'm doing that stretch, like, you know, maybe 10, 12 times a day, pretty much almost every day. Anytime I feel that little kind of twinge in my back, and I'm like, oh, there's that familiar back pain. Better make sure I do my stretches all day today. So yeah, that and the plank. I'm getting into doing plank. I know it's good for core. It's a great simple workout. You can just
you can do it anywhere. It's fabulous.
The floor,
the
floor is everywhere.
The floor is everywhere. How long do you hold for?
Oh, I don't even count. A few people have asked me that, and tell them I usually just take a deep breaths. I'll take 5 very long deep breaths.
Right.
And then I'll usually start feeling a little bit tired, and I'll be like, okay, that's good.
Gotcha.
Then maybe I'll switch to the side or to the back, and yeah. So it's not so much about timing it. It's just about taking those breaths and focusing on how I'm feeling and what I'm feeling.
That's fabulous. It's great for your lower back. I like to time mine because of course I do. But I also like to count sweat drips sometimes. If it's really hot and I'm raining sweat, I'll go 120 sweat drips. That won't necessarily be 2 minutes, but it's pretty close. So
right.
That's not disgusting in any way, I'm sure.
No, a good sweat. Nothing wrong with a good sweat.
So let's switch gears a little bit more here. Tell me about the punching bag and the back deck, and how some of those clients use that punching bag, and if they can use it to manage maybe anger issues that might pop up.
That was the reason for getting the punching bag. And initially I had thought that if somebody was being aggressive, we could kind of direct them to the punching bag and say, yeah, go be as aggressive as you want. It's not an issue. But right now it's more just the one guy who will only engage with the punching bag when somebody else does.
Got it.
So if a staff or if me, if we're like, okay, let's do this punching bag. Otherwise, it just kind of gets used sporadically as just something to kind of just hit or push with two hands, just out of fun.
Right.
So yeah, not so much a routine of, let's say, a boxing regiment.
Right.
But yeah, it's there, and it actually we have used it in when someone is being aggressive, saying, oh, okay, well, you want to be aggressive? Great. Go hit that punching bag. And we noticed that they're like, oh, okay, I don't want to hit the punching bag. So they just kind of calm down, and there's no real issues.
So the punching bag as a deterrent. That's cool.
Yeah, strangely enough.
Yeah.
The aggressive people sometimes don't want to hit things. They just want to
blow off
this
steam.
Perception that, yeah, that's it. So,
yeah. Everybody does, I think, sometimes. Yeah. Some more than most. Yeah. I don't know anybody.
Yeah, and there's different ways to want to blow off steam. What we get mostly is verbal aggression.
I see.
So making sure our staff are well versed in defending yourself against verbal attacks and psychological attacks. Very important.
That's awesome. This has been fabulous. Marc, thanks for coming on and doing this today with us. It's been a real eye-opener and really just a fantastic experience. I knew it would be, but I wasn't ready for that. That was awesome. I've been joined today on the Movement is Medicine podcast by Projets Autochtones du Québec, a managed alcohol program coordinator, Marc Alsop. Marc, it's been a delight. Thanks so much for joining us. I would love it if you'd come back on with us again.
Invite me and I'll be back.
Have a great day, everybody. If you'd like to hear more of this or other great podcasts, Yoriwaze podcasts are available on all major podcast platforms. Remember to subscribe. We'd like to thank you for listening today on the Movement is Medicine podcast, and Yoriwaze would like to thank the Community Media Strategic Support Fund for their support.
The views and opinions of the guests expressed in this podcast do not reflect those of Yoriwaze and its employees.